Hello friends, welcome back to my channel.
Santa, tell me if you're really there. Don't make me fall in love again if you won't be here.
So it is Vlogmas day 6. I honestly cannot keep up with the numbers, but right now I'm in the kitchen and I am making cookies to drop off to all of our building neighbors. I thought it would be super fun if I did just like a more laid back video where I literally just told y'all all of the Christmas traditions that I would love to do when we finally have our own kids one day. This is something that Wade and I have talked about for years. We are super big tradition people. We have been making our own traditions with like just the two of us since we started dating. And so I just thought it would be fun to go over some of the traditions that I really want to do when we have our little family, because I have always loved the idea of having just like family traditions that are special to you and your kids. So while I put together these cookies, that is what we are going to talk about. Okay, so starting out with something that I'm doing literally right now is acts of kindness. I want to make it a big point to incorporate many different acts of kindness into our family traditions. Something that Wade and I do every year as of right now is we actually love finding different organizations that give back to kids in need. So whether that is something like Operation Santa or Angel Tree, we have been doing something like that every year since we got together. And this year we actually switched it up. So we normally will do Operation Santa, which Operation Santa, they do that through the post office. So basically on, I think it's December 1st, the kids will be able to go on, write a letter to Santa, and then all of these different letters to Santa pop up on the website, and you can pick which letter you want to adopt and shop based off of the letters. And so for the last few years, that is what we were doing until last year, which was the last year that I think we're going to be doing that one in particular. We noticed that they started upping the prices to ship the gifts. Since it's through the post office, basically what you do is you will drop your gifts off at the post office and then you will have them shipped out to the families that way. So in years past, I think we spent like a little over $50 to have everything shipped, which obviously like that is still pretty insane. I feel like if the post office wants Operation Santa to be something that more people are inclined to do, they definitely should have some type of service where the shipping of the gifts is free, because you have to think people are literally going out, they're spending money on the gifts, which obviously that is no issue. Like we are doing it from the kindness of our hearts, so we have no issue paying for the gifts themselves, but having to also pay for the shipping is just kind of ridiculous. But in the years past, like I said, it was like $50 or less, so we would just be like, okay, that's fine, whatever. Well, last year we went to drop off our gifts and they charged us $163 to ship them all out. So we said that would be the last time that we would be doing Operation Santa, because that $163 could go towards some other organization. Like for example, we love donating to the food pantry. That $163 could have fed like 10 families. So this year, instead of Operation Santa, we actually donated to the Atlanta Children's Hospital. They had a list of things that they wanted to be able to give the patients this year. So we went, we stocked up on some of those gifts, and then we donated to them, and that felt really nice. So I want to continue to do something like that as the years go on. Into my dough, I'm adding like the Pillsbury ready to bake cookies. So I have the snowman one, then I also have some elf ones in the fridge, because I think I'm going to end up making about like give or take 40 cookies. I feel like I made enough dough to make that many. But keeping up with that same theme of giving back, we absolutely love donating to the food pantry. We've been donating once a month since January of this year. It was just one of my like New Year's resolutions. I really wanted to be able to give back to our community more, especially when we're able to. And thankfully we have been able to give every single month this year. And so it's definitely something that we're going to continue to do. And for the holidays, I like to go out and do just a little bit more. So we do like these holiday themed bags where, like for example, for Thanksgiving we did Thanksgiving dinner in a bag. So we did 10 different families, gave them everything they needed for the ultimate Thanksgiving dinner, and that was just so fun. So I'm gonna do something like that as well for Christmas. But I would like to take it one step further, and I would like to start like volunteering at the soup kitchen, at the food bank, because I remember when I was younger and I was growing up, one thing that we did was we actually fed the homeless, and it was just such a core memory for me. So I really want to make sure that we raise children who know that it's not always about receiving, it's about giving, even if you're giving to a complete stranger. So that is definitely something I want to do. But this first batch of cookies, I'm going to throw it in the oven, and then we're gonna start on batch 2. Okay, I'm gonna start on my second tray of cookies, but moving into tradition number 2. I actually saw this the other day on one of my favorite booktubers videos. Her name is Destiny, but this was actually a tradition that she found that another creator does, and I was like, oh my gosh, that is such a unique idea. Like, I've never seen anyone do that before, and it just sounded so special, so I want to do it so bad. But basically, you have this special box, and every year you put like a new pair of Christmas pajamas in this special box. So when I'm thinking special box, I'm thinking like one of those keepsake boxes that's like beautiful, and it has like their initials on it, and it's just engraved. So I'm thinking of that, and I think that this like gorgeous, like vintage, you know what I mean when I say like vintage Christmas, but like this gorgeous like vintage Christmas box, that's what I'm envisioning, with just like a pair of pajamas every year. And December 1st, I know how people feel about the elf, but we'll get to that. But December 1st, you have the elf bring this beautiful box with a new pair of Christmas pajamas in it every year. But I want to take it one step further, and I want to do a box that is custom to our family. So instead of doing a box just for our children, I want to do it so it says like the Wilsons on it, and then we do matching PJs for mom, dad, and the kids, and then those will be like our matching Christmas pajamas of the year. I just think that would be so cute, because Wade and I already do new matching Christmas pajamas every year, and so I feel like that would be such a special way to be able to bring the matching Christmas pajamas to our home every year and be like, hey, it's December 1st, it's Christmas time. I just think that that is precious. So keeping up with that idea of the matching Christmas pajamas, something that Wade and I have been doing since the first year we started dating, and we have decided that this is going to be a tradition that we continue with our kids. We'll get the matching Christmas pajamas, and then we do DIY at home Christmas pictures in front of the Christmas tree in our jammies. It's important that they're DIY. We want them to feel like DIY pictures. Like, obviously we will do professional pictures just to keep as keepsakes throughout the year, and those will be like more polished pictures, you know, like when you get all dressed up in your best dress, your makeup and your hair done, and then, you know, you go and have a professional take them, and those will be like our Christmas card pictures, I guess. But it's also so important to us to just do that DIY moment. It just feels like so much more intimate, and also it just feels like us. Like, I feel like it just allows us to be ourselves. There's like no pressure of like having a professional there taking the pictures and like, oh, you have to pose like a certain way, and it's like the most authentic, candid pictures that we take all year. And on top of that, it's just like wonderful to look back every single year on those pictures and be like, oh, this was us Christmas of 2020 and Christmas of 2021. They are some of my favorite pictures that we take every year, and actually this year we're a little bit behind on taking them, so we'll probably actually do that this upcoming Sunday. And I'm obsessed because our matching jammies this year, I love them so much. Okay, I'm pulling out the elf cookies because I ran out of the little snowman. Tradition number 3. Listen, I know how people feel about the elves. I know. Elf on the Shelf. I'm not a parent yet, obviously, so I can't speak firsthand, but I see my friends that do it, and it just seems like one of the most stressful traditions. One, having to think of ideas, and then 2, having to remember to do it every night, because God forbid you forget to do it one night. God forbid like you get caught doing it. So it seems stressful, but it's like a type of stress that I'm willing to take for that Christmas magic, okay? And also, I feel like I have a little bit of an advantage, obviously, because I've watched my friends do it with their kids for the last few years, and so I have lots of ideas saved up. At least for the first few years, I have plenty of ideas saved up to use. But I definitely feel like this is one of those traditions where it's like stressful and chaotic, but then there is a little bit of a payout, because, you know, it's magic. Like, your kids, they don't know, like, at least for the first like 10 years of their life, you know, like, they believe in all of the Christmas magic. So I feel like being able to literally bring that Christmas magic straight to your home, oh my gosh, whenever I'm thinking about, like, you know, when we finally beat infertility and we have a kid, those are the moments that I think about. Having a baby, one thing I've always told Wade is I look past the baby stage. When I say I want a baby, I don't just want a baby. I want a kid. I want a human being that we are going to be raising, and even once we're done like raising them, that we are still going to be able to pour love into them when they're 20, 30, 40, 50 years old, if God allows. And so when I think about all of the different family moments and milestones we'll get to go through, I'm thinking about not just when they're babies, I'm thinking about like when whenever they're 5 years old and it's their first day of school. I'm thinking about when they're 16 and they're going to prom for the first time, or like when they're 12 and they hit their first home run. Like those are all of the moments I'm thinking about, which makes like these traditions, like dreaming about them, it just makes it so much more special. Just put the second round of cookies in. So I'm gonna take the first round and let them cool while we work on the third round. I think the third round will be my final round, and then I need to get these packaged up and write the Christmas cards. But moving on to our next tradition, so I'm going all the way back to literally November 1st. So before we even get to December, if you hear jingling in the background, Apollo is playing with his toys and Stony is chasing, oh, he just sneezed, but Stony is chasing him around the house. They have been playing like crazy today. Oh, by the way, Apollo and Stony are my cats, if you don't know. But going back to November 1st, because personally in our household, that is when all of the holiday festivities begin. If November 1st happens to fall on a weekend day, so that's Friday, Saturday, or Sunday, then we do all of the decorating on November 1st. My husband goes to work during the week, and it's really important to me that he is involved in the decorating as well, because it's something that we love doing together. I feel like that shouldn't go there. Hopefully that'll be okay. So that will be a tradition that we continue with our children. We will forever be a first week of November, decorate the Christmas decor up on November 1st type of family. I don't see that ever changing. It's just something that we've always done, and it's always been something that we've loved doing. We put on our Christmas jammies, we turn on a Christmas movie, make hot chocolate, have a Christmas themed breakfast. It's just something that we love, so I don't see that changing ever. I know some people think that November 1st is just way too early to get started on Christmas things, because they're like, what about Thanksgiving? Listen, y'all, personally, I decorate for fall, and I decorate for fall like the first or second week of August normally. But I don't know about y'all, but there's not really like Thanksgiving decorations. Like, yeah, there's fall decorations, but there's something about having your Christmas tree up on Thanksgiving that just hits different. I don't know. Okay, let's get this third batch of cookies done, so when the second batch comes out, we can throw these in and all of the cookies will be ready to bag up. So this next one is one that Wade and I, from like day one when we were talking about like having kids and Christmas, this is one that we both agreed on, and I was actually shocked that he felt the same way, because I don't really ever hear many people have this same opinion. But I've always thought that it was like super sad when kids would come back from school and they would be talking about what they got for Christmas, and then kids would be like, oh, well, Santa got me this and Santa got me that. Because my thing is, like, obviously not every family can afford to give their kids lavish Christmases. The crazy part is, a lot of times, a lot of those kids who like their parents can't afford to do that, they are such hard workers with the kindest hearts. Like, they're trying their best, and it's just not something that they can afford to do. It doesn't mean that they didn't get Christmas at all. It's just not like, you know, those kids are getting like the newest electronics or, you know, the trendiest clothing. And so my biggest thing is, I don't want to mark like the big gifts from Santa. So the big gifts are going to be for mom and dad, because my thing is, it's not that we want like recognition. It's more so I want them to know, like, Santa does not give the big gifts. Like, Santa doesn't treat kids any different. So Santa's not going to bring you $1,000 gaming system, but then he bought your classmates socks and that's it. That's just not something that, you know, I want to be a reality in our household. So the big gifts will be for mom and dad, and then the necessities like, you know, bath products, underwear, socks, those will be from Santa. And we both agreed on that, and I thought it was crazy because it's just never something that I've heard many people talk about, or not really something that many people that I know do. So I was really happy that we were both on the same page about that, because that's just something that's super important to me. A tradition that we started just last year, and I am so excited to be able to continue with this year with even more family. But I took over the reins of doing Christmas dinner. So last year I cooked a full Christmas dinner, and I love Christmas dinner because it's a little bit different than Thanksgiving. I feel like with Thanksgiving, we have like those staple foods that we know are going to be there. So like the turkey, the dressing, the green beans. If you're like my family, then you have like sweet potato casserole every year. Like, there's the staple foods that you know are going to be at Thanksgiving no matter what. But for Christmas, I feel like, yeah, like some people, they do ham every single year, and that's like their thing. And like some people will like seriously do just like a Thanksgiving dinner 2.0. And I'm not knocking you if that's what you do. That's just, you know, something that some people will do. But For me, I think that Christmas dinner is really the time where you can get like creative, and it just feels so fancy and elegant. So I was so excited last year to be able to bring both of our families together, which is another thing that doesn't really ever happen. There's never really like a scenario where like my family or like my extended family and Wade's extended family are in one room together having dinner. So I was so freaking excited, and so that is just something that I've kind of claimed as my own now. I cannot wait because we are doing a brisket this year. Last year we did a prime rib. It was so good, but I've really been wanting just like a nice brisket this year. That's a tradition that I cannot wait to carry on, and I feel like as the years go on, I'm gonna start to like establish like my signature recipes and my signature tablescapes, and it's just like something that I am just looking forward to as claiming as like my tradition. So another thing that we do every year that is one of my favorite nights of the year, we started doing this about 2 years ago, and now it's just been something that has stuck. But basically we will find one of those like drive-through Christmas light shows, and we will go through those. And what is so fun about those is that at the beginning of them, they'll basically tell you a radio station to tune into, and then you tune into that radio station, and as you drive through the display, the songs correlate with the lights, and it's just so fun. So what we like to do is we will get in our jammies, we will bring some blankets to the car, and then I'll also make us some hot chocolate in our thermals, and then on the way there we will pick up like a fast food like dinner, and we will eat dinner, drink our hot chocolate as we go through the Christmas light show, and it is just so much freaking fun. Coming up with that too, I want to start going to more Christmas markets. So last year was actually our first time going to a Christmas market, and I absolutely loved it. I actually snagged up a few gifts that I gave as gifts for Christmas, and I got them at the Christmas market, and it felt so nice to be able to, one, support small businesses, but then two, a lot of these markets, like they are set up so well to where you literally feel like you are in like a Hallmark movie, like literally amazing. 10 out of 10. So I'm hoping that this year we go to one. There's like this big one that they do in Lawrenceville, and I think also Roswell, and it's called the Crystalline, something like that. I'm sure if you know, you know. Like if you live in Georgia, you know what I'm talking about. But they do it every single year, and I've been dying to go because apparently all of the food is so good, the vibes are so good. So fingers crossed that we get to go to it this year. Okay, batch 2 is out of the oven. I'm gonna set these aside so that they can cool down, and I'm gonna throw in the last batch, and we're gonna get these packaged up so I can deliver them to my neighbors. I'm so excited, y'all. They look so freaking good. It's actually a Christmas Day tradition, and it's one that Wade and I have thought long and hard about as far as when we have kids. Like right now it's okay that this isn't, you know, something that we do, but when we have kids we really want this to be something that we do. So I'm sure if you're married or you're in like a committed relationship, then you know the struggle of having to go between all of the different households every holiday, making sure you see everybody that wants to see you, making sure that like nobody feels left out. I'm sure you know that feeling. It is so stressful, so overwhelming, and then at the end of the day also you just feel so burnt out, and I hate feeling like that on the holidays. But as of right now, you know, we just make do because we just want to make sure that everybody gets to see us, which is one of the reasons why I love that we started doing Christmas dinner here at our own house, because it kind of makes it to where you can be like, hey, if you want to see us, this is where we'll be, this is what time dinner starts, come on by. But I think what actually made last year even more stressful as far as us doing like Christmas dinner is that we still went to 3 different houses on Christmas Day. We start off the morning at my mom's house, do Christmas breakfast with her, and then we go to Wade's grandma's house, we visit for a little while with her, watch her open her gifts, and then we go to Wade's parents' house, we do Christmas afternoon with them, and then we would come back home and I would have to like rush to get dinner ready. So that's stressful, but as of right now it's more so like, you know, we just want to make sure everybody gets to see us. But when we have kids, one thing that we would love to do is to just stay at home all day and just tell everybody, hey, this is where we'll be all day long, just come by, see us. If you want to see the kids, bring their gifts, whatever, have dinner, this is where we'll be. So that is definitely something that I'm hoping we are able to do. I'm crossing my fingers. I feel like everyone would agree to that. I feel like that's a great system because it's kind of like come by whenever. Like there is no set time. You can come by at 8 o'clock at night and we would just be happy to see you. So I feel like that is something that would actually probably be easier on everybody, in my opinion. I'm gonna go and look for the bags for these because I bought like these special little bags to put them in and I have no clue where I put them. So hopefully I can find them. If not, I do have like a big bag of just like random Christmas themed bags, but I wanted to do the matching bags so that everything looks the same. So I don't know, we'll see. Okay, I'm in the final stretch. I'm getting everything bagged up and ready to go. So we're gonna do our last few traditions while I finish up. The one that I absolutely love because I feel like it's like a visual representation of how the family has evolved, how many years we've been a family, and that is picking out a family Christmas ornament every single year. And then also we take it one step further and we also do an ornament for our cats every year. So we started that about 2 or 3 years ago, and I love that that's a tradition that we started because y'all know that our Braylon just passed away, and so it's really beautiful to have visual representation of his Christmases that he got to spend with us. And obviously when we have kids as well, it'll be so beautiful to see like, okay, this is the ornament that we picked when you were this age, and then this is the one that we picked when you were that age. But I want to take it another step further and do specific ornaments, not only as a family, but do an ornament a year for each child. I got little Christmas cards to go in the bags with the cookies. But this was actually something that my mom did for us every year, and it's so cool. Like to go to my mom's house and look at all of the different ornaments she has on her tree. If you like go back through like all of our ornaments through childhood, there are some really cool like vintage ornaments on the tree. Like there's this one vintage Barbie. I'm gonna get my hands on that freaking Barbie ornament one day, but it's like one of my dream ornaments. It's beautiful. I just feel like that is such a fun little tradition, and it allows you to have a Christmas tree that's just filled with like generations of ornaments. Like Wade's grandma, oh my gosh, she actually does this thing, and I guess this would be a tradition that we technically do with our kids, but it's more so her tradition. However, when she is no longer with us and passes on, I am hoping that one of Wade's cousins will take on the role of doing this, or maybe one of Wade's aunts and uncles, or even his mom will take on the role of doing this, because of course I don't want to overstep. This is like something that they've been doing as a family since like her children were children, like since his grandma's children were children. So I don't want to overstep and like take over that. That's not my place to do that. So I'm really hoping and praying that one of them does it because it's just so fun. So basically she always gets Hallmark ornaments, and she gets everyone one ornament per year. And so for my first ever Christmas with them, me and Wade had only been dating at that point for like 7 months, and it was so cool because I got a freaking ornament. And so, you know, you get one every year, and so you have an ornament for every single year of your life. Or in my case, if you're like me or you're like the other significant others, you get one for every year that you and that person have been together. So this year I got my 6th ornament because we have spent 6 Christmases together. And it's just such a beautiful thing that she does, and I love how she makes sure everybody is included. And she actually does it on Thanksgiving Day. So basically what we'll do is we'll like eat our Thanksgiving dinner, and then she's like, okay, time for ornaments. Everybody will sit in the living room, and then we draw names, and then that's the order that we go in. This year was my first ever year getting to go first. Somehow Wade's dad always rigs the system to where I go last because he thinks it's like a funny joke because I've never been like first, second, third, whatever. And there's like 20 plus of us, so there's a lot of names to get through, and I have never been first. This year I was first. And so then you open your ornament, you go stand in front of the tree, which she has one of those really cool rotating trees, and when I tell y'all, it is filled to the brim with ornaments. But you stand in front of the tree, and then you have your picture taken with your ornament, and then you hang your ornament on the rotating tree. And because like I said, she's been doing this for years, so her tree is like packed to the brim with ornaments, so she obviously cannot hang on to all of these ornaments. So basically once Christmas is over, she gives you your ornament from that year, and then you add it to your collection. So on our tree we have a ton of the ornaments that 1 Wade has gotten in his lifetime, but then 2 I've gotten since we've been together, and that is just like such a special little thing to be able to have. It is one of my absolute favorites, and I'm really happy and really lucky that my kids will get to participate in something like that because it is just so special. And then finally, I feel like this isn't really a tradition, it's more so what I feel like is the entire point of Christmas, but I want to make sure that throughout the holiday season, we are just teaching our kids to remember that this season is not all about gifts. It's not about the materialistic stuff. Of course, I want them to be kids, and I want them to be excited and look forward to, oh my goodness, like what's going to be underneath the Christmas tree this year, like what did mommy and daddy do for us this year. But I want them to know that this season is more about giving than it is about receiving. Like that is just my biggest thing. I want them to know it's more about togetherness, it's more about spending time with your family and really cherishing those memories, because the sad reality is you're not always going to have those family members here with you, and so you need to cherish every moment that you're given with your family. And I think that the holidays is just such a beautiful time to be able to do that. Sometimes I feel like those moments are taken for granted, and so I just want that to be like the key point and like the main giveaway for holidays in our household. But I'm gonna finish bagging these up and then I will show y'all everything completed before I go and take them for delivery. Okay friends, really quickly before I go and drop these off, I wanted to show y'all I finished up the bags. So we have all of our bags with our cookies and then the Christmas cards in there. And then this one's a little bit bigger because I have a neighbor that is like a friend to me now. And so I put a little hand soap, a hand lotion, and a perfume in hers as well, just to say Merry Christmas. But that's it. And that is all for today's video. Just a super laid back, easygoing video. Comment down below some traditions that you and your family do, and maybe it'll give me some ideas for other traditions I would love to do with my family one day. Love you guys, and I will see you guys tomorrow. Bye friends.